Hello, everyone. Dr. Melissa Tranquil here. A special welcome to 15 Minutes Straight Talk. I'm so excited to be here. If you're joining me live, come and say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for choosing to spend your time again with me. So, today we have an exciting topic. We're going to talk about using a things to do list to improve your time management and boost your productivity. Now, before I officially start, I'm just going to give persons just 1 minute to join. So, persons who wish to join me live, I'm giving you about a minute to join in. As they're joining in, I'm just going to speak about my upcoming training next week, Thursday, Secrets to Grow, Market, and Scale Your Coaching Business. So, if you're interested in learning those secrets to grow, market, and scale your coaching business, then you can find the link below this video. Do hop in, join now because it's going to be a high value, jam packed training, guaranteed. Great. So let's talk about time management. Now, before I dive into the topic, and we're talking about how to improve your time management and boost your productivity using a things to do list. Some call it a to-do list. I want to start off by asking my viewers, and whether you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, feel free to answer the question as well. Do you presently use a things to do list or a to-do list or whatever you call it? Or do you presently use some form of productivity planner or something to help you with planning your day? Do you do that? Type yes if you do. Are you consistent with it? Because sometimes we have tools that we use, but we're not particularly consistent with it. Would you say that you are consistent in using those tools to help you with planning your day? So I'll be excited to see your responses in a few moments. So now, the thing about the to-do list is there are some misconceptions. First of all, let me start with some only two misconceptions due to time constraints with regard to the to-do list. There is a belief that, hello, Kathy, how are you doing? Lovely to have you here. Kathy is sharing. She says yes, but not consistently. Okay, thanks for sharing, Kathy. Thanks for your honesty. You are going to get consistent after today's live. Gil Parkin, welcome. So glad you could join us. She says, always keep it up. Thanks for sharing. So, there's a general misconception about the things to do list. And one of it is that a things to do list, or whether you call it a to do list or whatever beautiful name you call it, is to get things done. But it's more than just a list of things to get done. Your things to do list demonstrates your intentions for the day. And I'm going to be talking a little more about that in a short moment. That's what it indicates. It indicates your list of intentions to get things done. The second misconception is that if I have a long to do list, it shows how productive I am. But there again, it's another misconception because you can have a long to do list, and what you're really doing is by the end of the week, you feel so depressed and overwhelmed because you didn't manage to get everything done on your list, mainly because you overcommitted yourself. So that's two misconceptions we've cleared out of the way. I don't have time for much more, but I'm happy to let you know that your things to do list is a tool that can definitely help you to increase or improve or enhance your time management and boost your productivity. And by the time I'm through with today's brief and concise training, I would leave you with some tips on how that can happen. So let's clarify, and I'll get back to the chat in a short moment. Let's clarify now what is really time management, right? So, time management, some may say time management is basically managing your time. But this is how I define time management. I define time management as managing yourself and what you do with your time. You're managing yourself and your time to get things that need to get done. So it's not just managing your time, because time management is also about managing ourselves in that time. For instance, as a quick example, turning off your phone so that you don't get distracted by the notifications. You're managing yourself because this is something that you have to do and what you do with your time. For instance, you're concentrating on a task that requires deep work, and you want to eliminate any distractions. You are managing yourself in terms of how you're going to get your work done during that particular time. So it's very important to understand that your things to do list is about Time management, sorry, is about managing yourself and your time to get what needs to get done, right? So let me just check on the chat quickly and I will come back to my points. Kathy says I've got back into making lists. Excellent, Kathy. That's a great start. I love making lists when I work with my book. So I love the black and red notebook. So I use my black and red notebooks. My baby, like my toddler tore this out here. But this is what I use for my time management. Now, some persons may like their phone, so they may have an app on their phone. Some might like maybe an Excel sheet or whatever works for you or Google Docs. You have to find what works for you because this is what is essential, first of all, is finding a system that works for you. So if you're new to time management, explore the different systems that are out there. Buy a planner if you're not sure what works for you, and you will eventually find what works for you. Some persons may love beautiful planners because just the colors stimulate them. For me, I love my black and red notebook, and all I do is I make my list of things that I need to get done. But how do you go about making that things to do list? And this is what's important. Let's talk about that very quickly. Now, Kathy says she's doing well. I'm happy to hear that, Kathy. Lovely, lovely. Gil says, yep, I have a good to do list. Excellent, Gil. Keep it up. So, first of all, your things to do list, listen to this very carefully, is not a matter of just waking up in the morning and, hey, I'm just going to jot down everything I have to get done today on that things to do list. This is the thinking I want you to put behind that plan. And the thinking behind that plan is everything that you're going to include on your things to do list feeds from your goals. So, effective time management really is using your time to help you to achieve your goals in the different areas of your life. And this is where a lot of people miss out because we focus on making our list as it pertains to just work goals, for instance. So the things I need to get, I arrive at work this morning, the things I need to get done, I list them down and I get that done. But your life consists of several life areas and you want to manage your time and you would have a much more balanced and joyful life when you achieve your goals in those different life areas. So the first point I want to make about your things to do list is before even getting to that point, get clarity on your goals. So you look at those different life areas. You can look at the wheel of life if you need to, and look at those categories in your spiritual life, in your health and fitness life, in your career life, your professional life, your vocational life. What are those top goals for you? And you make a list of those goals. Because at the end of the day, if you only focus on business, you only focus on work, 6 months from now, you're going to be unhappy when you look at yourself and you wonder, well, hey, you know what has happened? I've gained 10 pounds. And yes, I had this goal, but I didn't make it a priority. So, part of being effective as well is ensuring that your time management is tied to your goals. So I want to emphasize that point. Get clear on your goals and you break those goals down using using the SMART goal setting method, right? Ensuring it's specific and measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. We don't have the time to go into it, but I'm sure most of you watching me live, if not all of you, are aware of this too. What's important is you get clarity on your goals, you prioritize your goals, you break your goals down, and then you prepare your monthly or your quarterly. Find what works for you again. Some persons prefer preparing a 90-day plan, and then from that, their monthly plan and their weekly plan. I just prepare a monthly plan. I have my 12-month goals, but I prepare a monthly plan, and my weekly plan feeds off of that. So, your what's on your list of things to do on my weekly list feeds off from my overall goals. And then what I write for each day for that week feeds off from what I have written down for my weekly things to do list. So you see the synchronity. And then in essence, you are achieving your goals. Now, the second point I want to make about your things to do list is to ensure that it is realistic and doable. Do not overcommit yourself. So always ensure that what you've written down is something that you can get done during that time of the day. So don't overcommit yourself because you're only going to feel depressed and you're only going to feel overwhelmed and disappointed by not getting those tasks done, right? The next point I want to make before I hop into the chat is it must add value to your time. So if there's anything on your list that doesn't add value to your time, eliminate it. If there are things on your list that can be delegated, delegate it. Even when it comes to home, right? For activities or things that need to get done at home, can you start delegating some of those tasks as well, right? The other point I want to make now is to have one list. Now, this was a big realization for me many years ago because I used to have a things to do list when I was in corporate, for my job, and then I would have one for home, and then which one takes priority? And you've made the right guess. Work, of course. Now, we do need to work, definitely. But the whole thing about it is making a shift in our mind to understand it's about a balanced life. And we feel much more fulfilled. We feel more contented when we strive to achieve that balanced life. So, hence the reason why I'm suggesting to you, if you're not already doing so, to have one list. Don't have separate lists, have one list, because if you have separate lists, it's like you're telling your brain work is more important and this is after. So what I have been doing is I have the one list, but I batch my tasks. So I have the one list, and in the one list I will have work tasks, then I would have exercise, I would have things that I have to get done in the house. If I have to do mommy school, that's also on the list. Well, that's the time I spend with my toddlers teaching them. They love to call it mommy school. So have one list. Then this tells your brain everything on this list is important. So, yes, preparing that presentation is important, but also my 40 minutes for exercise is important, but also sitting and doing some reading with my child is important. Let me know your thoughts on that. Have one list. And the last point I want to make in terms of preparing your things to do list is to ensure that it is prepared in the context of your day. So, if you have a doctor's appointment on a particular day, bear that in mind. If you have meetings, you might have parent meetings or different meetings as it pertains to your work or with clients. Bear all that in mind as you're preparing your things to do list. Because the most important thing, even if there are 4 items, because the rest of your day is filled up with meetings, the most important thing is that you're preparing a realistic and doable things to do list that will help you to achieve those important goals. So let me just hop into the chat and then I would leave you with some points on how to increase your productivity using that things to do list. So Kathy says there are task lists, personal goals lists. Yes, the key is for small steps to reach to the big goals. Absolutely, Kathy. Absolutely. So the key is to take those small steps. That's why you break down your goal. So when you break down your goal, that could be in your weekly list. So for instance, I have a training coming up next week. So I have to break down that goal. So in breaking down that goal is preparing the presentation for that training, drafting the emails for that training, the emails before the training, emails post launch, and you break down each of those tasks that you have to do, and that will all be on your weekly to-do list, what you have to do for that week. Then, as you awake each morning, I prefer to do it before I go to bed. You set the task that you will accomplish for that day in the context of that day, feeding off of that list. Does that make sense? So, great. So, let me leave you now with some tips to increase your productivity using your things to do list. So, if you have been using your things to do list, continue to do so. If you have been lapsing, that's fine. Ownership is the first step to change. Taking ownership and recognizing, hey, I definitely need to improve here, and you take that first step to change. So, to increase your productivity using the things to do list, the first thing I want to share is to be consistent. You won't be able to see the benefits of doing so unless you are consistent. I do it every single day except Saturday because Saturday is family time. I do it every single day, whether I'm working or I'm not working. So if I'm not working, it will consist mainly of my home task or tasks to do with the family or tasks to do with, household things that need to get done. But do it every single day so that you can get into the habit of having a things to do list. And another thing too, the beauty of having that things to do list, if you follow my advice in ensuring that it feeds off your goals, is that by the end of the day, by the end of that particular time span, or whatever time span that is, whether it's a month or 3 months, you would have achieved a particular goal, and that's so rewarding. But if you're not consistent, you can lapse by the way and fail to achieve your goals. So get consistent. Find a time that works for you. What do you prefer? Do you prefer making your things to do list as soon as you wake up in the morning, after you've had your morning routine, or as part of your morning routine? Or do you prefer doing it before you go to bed? So you wake up in the morning completely aware already of what is it you have to get done in the context of that day. So find what works for you. The other thing is to set it right. Eliminate all those things that do not add value to your time. If it doesn't add value to your time, eliminate it. If you can delegate it, delegate it. I have children at home. I can delegate putting the clothes in the washing machine. I can delegate the vacuuming to get the vacuuming done. Excuse me. So when you delegate those tasks, as also if you work in a work environment, delegate those tasks that can be delegated instead of having to do them yourselves. So your things to do list is not cluttered with things that you don't have to get done yourself. And you can free up your time to work on the more important tasks or find time to engage in some of your hobbies. So set it right. The other thing is to evaluate your list. This is crucial. Every week, at the end of every week, you look back at it, your to-do list, and you evaluate your list. What worked well? What didn't work well? Did I overcommit myself? Or sometimes this has happened to me before. I may have set my list, a particular thing to get done that day, and it took me more time because I didn't break it down in its entirety. And because you didn't break it down in its entirety, in terms of all the steps, it took you more time and some other things had to get left behind. So you evaluate your things to do list to see, well, how can I improve it so that it is better the next time around? The other thing that I do with my things to do list is I time my tasks. So for instance, for each task on my things to do list, I write the time slot. I write a time slot, so I have here, okay, 8:15 to 8:35. I had to make notes on my live 8:35, 8:45, schedule it, and I write down the time slot for each task. By so doing, it will help you with your productivity. And it gives you a sense of awareness when you're planning your list how long a particular task will take you, because especially if it's a routine task, and eventually you will begin to see, well, this task used to take me 20 minutes to get done. I remember when I just started in my business, for instance, it would have taken me like 45 minutes just to write an email when I just started in my coaching business. 45 minutes to do research, to put my thoughts in order, and of course, it was completely new. Now I can write an email in 20 minutes. So by writing that time down, by timing your task, you're able to gauge where you're improving, right? And it will definitely help you now in boosting your productivity. So if you haven't been doing so, give it a try and set a time slot for each task. And the last point I want to leave you with, of course, I can share more, but these are definitely valuable points to help you to improve your productivity and improve your time management skills, is to reward yourself. So at the end of the week, when you've accomplished those things that you wanted to accomplish, reward yourself. Find some way to reward yourself. Whether if you love books, buy a favorite book, buy a book you've been wanting to have for a long time. If you love sports, maybe buy a sport outfit. I don't know, whatever you enjoy doing, find a way to reward yourself. Let me know if that makes sense to you. So definitely, if you haven't, if you're not in the habit of setting your to-do list or your to-do list, I want to encourage you to do so, to make it a habit. Even if it's just 3 items on your list for the day, make it a habit so you can get into the practice, so you can enhance your awareness on the importance of your time management. There's this saying, your time is worth money. I love to say, no to that. Your time is worth more than money, because we can always get more money, go work and make more money, but we can't add more time. When that time is gone, that time is gone. So your time is worth much more than money. Recognize how valuable your time is to you. not just for your business life, not just for your work life, but for your life in its entirety. So plan your day. Even plan what you're doing after work. I plan my entire day down to up to when it's time to go to bed. Plan your entire day, because if you fail to do so, let's say you plan your work day, you come back home, you spend an hour in front of the TV watching Netflix, and then perhaps you spend 30 minutes scrolling on Facebook, and that's how the time slips away and you wonder what happened. So time your day, recognize how valuable your time is for you, and get consistent. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Jill. Thank you for those of you watching me on Facebook. I can see a few persons watching from Facebook. I want to say thank you for sharing your time with me today. And if you're not in the habit, get into the habit right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Find a planner, get a black and red notebook, find something that works for you, get an app on your phone, make a list on your phone, start right now. Plan your day and be consistent with it and have fun. Because if this is not exciting you, then you need to reevaluate your goals. If you're not excited setting your things to do list, then this is an indicator that you need to reevaluate your goals. Are you working on those goals that are definitely important to you? Because it is supposed to be exciting, because it's helping you to achieve your goals. Let me leave you, else I'll go on for another hour. So thank you, Kathy. Kathy is saying thank you. You're most welcome, my lovely. Have a blessed day. Have a lovely day. Have a productive day. And I'm going to hop the link to my upcoming training. Let me see if I can get the link. My upcoming training to grow, market, and scale your coaching business. If you want to join, just hit the link below the video. So thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye for now.